what's happening, guys? Kevin Feige teases some interesting details about the new Spider-Man will be portrayed by Tom Holland in the upcoming Civil War, as well as Spider-Man's own solo film in 2017. But before we jump into that news, here's something really exciting. Ant-Man has actually a Spider-Man reference in it. That's right, the upcoming Marvel's Ant-Man will reference Spidey. A bunch of people who've already seen the film confirmed it on their Twitter accounts, and here's what Kevin Feige says about this line in the film which references Spidey. Quote, "The line was old actually, all that was meant to be very generic." So there we have it, the reports about Spider-Man's reference and Ant-Man are basically now confirmed. What's really nice, surprising, Marvel have to set up Tom Holland as Spidey, the brand new Spidey, as soon as possible. What's the best way to do it? Then Ant-Man, a movie which comes even before Civil War. And talking about Spider-Man's own solo film, here's what Kevin Feige tells us about the upcoming movie. First of all, there will be new villains we haven't seen previously. Quote, "Right now we're interested in seeing villains we haven't seen before." So my personal bet obviously would be Mysterio. Maybe we'll see a bunch of other B-list villains such as Shocker, who will work for somebody else there. In the very first solo film they will probably set up a bigger threat, like a mastermind, let's say Kingpin, who was already introduced to us in Daredevil, or maybe Norman Osborn, but they won't make any appearances in this film. They will just set up as the bigger threat for the future years to come, for Tom Holland to actually fight them in the sequels. And let's not forget about the very first thing we found out about this whole Marvel and Sony deal, is that Sony are actually allowed to use Marvel characters in their own Spider-Man solo films. Obviously it's not really Sony's Spider-Man solo films, it's still Marvel and Sony's trilogy, which will be produced by Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal. But still, Spidey might use the help of, let's say, Tony Stark to fight Carnage somewhere in 2020, and it's also vice versa. Spider-Man's roster of villains is enormous, so I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel will use, let's say, Doc Ock as the villain for the new Avengers somewhere in the future. In addition to teasing the new villains, Kevin Feige once again references John Hughes' humor as an inspiration for Marvel's Spider-Man reboot. Now, John Hughes was the screenwriter, director, producer. He's actually known for writing really great comedy films, so that's humor we're talking about here, and a great humor is just a must for this new Spider-Man reboot. Here's what Kevin Feige tells us, quote, "It's the soap opera and high school and those supporting characters that are interesting. Just as we hadn't seen as a heist movie in a long time or a shrinking movie in a long time, we haven't seen John Hughes movie in a long time. Not that we can make a John Hughes movie, only John Hughes could, but we're inspired by him, and merging that with a superhero genre in a way we haven't done before excites us." Kevin Feige also explains the new fresh take on the hero. It's not only about making Spider-Man different, it's also about the fact that he is not the only superhero that now exists in his own solo films. And according to Kevin Feige, this will make him special. Quote, "Up until this point in the other Spider-Man films, he was the only hero, and now he's not. Now he's a kid in Queens with these powers and has other to look to. Does he want to be like these other characters?" Now, this is obviously very exciting, but still, let's not forget about the main thing about Spider-Man is that he is a loner. He's on his own most of the time. He's not really a team player. He joined the Avengers not so long ago, and maybe that's what was so appealing about Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker and Sam Raimi's trilogy. The Peter Parker Kevin Feige is talking about is Peter Parker from the very first Steve Ditko and Stan Lee's Spider-Man issues. He's a loner type of guy. Sure, as years has passed, he actually progressed as a character, he got more confidence in himself, but from the very get-go, he wasn't really that confident. That's what was great about Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker and Sam Raimi's trilogy. The problem with the trilogy is that he wasn't progressing as a character through the whole three films. His nerdiness and loneliness was needed for the first film, wasn't needed that much for the second or third film. Talking about Sam Raimi, Kevin Feige also praised Spider-Man 2. Now that's surprising. Here's what he says: "We're going to have it to be its own thing, but some of those Spider-Man films, I think Spider-Man 2 is one of the best superhero movies ever, so that's a lot to live up to." Now that's great. Spider-Man 2 is one of my favorite Spider-Man films, I'm sure same for you guys, and it's great that Kevin Feige actually looks up to this movie, a movie of my and yours childhood, as an inspiration. And finally, Kevin Feige responds to all these requests about Spider-Man actually making an appearance in Daredevil or making an appearance in other Marvel's Netflix TV series, and Kevin Feige responds by saying, "Never say never." So once once again wouldn't be surprised if Spidey will pop up in one of the Daredevil's episodes, or Daredevil will actually pop up in Spider-Man solo films as a Spidey's partner. So tell me what you guys think. Are you already accepting Tom Holland as the third Peter Parker Spider-Man? What's your take on Tom Holland? Have you seen any of his previous work? Have you done any research on the guy? And do you believe Tom Holland will nail Peter Parker's Spider-Man role in Marvel and Sony's Spider-Man reboot? Thanks for watching, let me know what you guys think. Stay tuned for more, and I'm out for now.